Okay, so get this. You're prepping for an import-export specialist interview, and it's in the world of mining construction and civil engineering machinery.
Wow, talk about moving mountains, huh?
Exactly. We're going to do a deep dive today into RoleCatcher's career guide and those sample interview questions they provide.
Yeah, so you can really knock it out of the park.
That's the goal.
Yeah, it's a cool field, right? You're not
Yeah.
just like shipping a package here. You're coordinating the movement of all this giant equipment that powers entire industries.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And with RoleCatcher's AI, you can actually like tailor your answers to specific job descriptions and even get personalized feedback.
It's like having a coach in your pocket.
That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into the AI magic,
Right.
let's just tackle some common interview questions.
Okay.
First up, what motivated you to pursue a career in import-export in this industry?
I think that's a really great place to start. And, you want to go beyond the, I like logistics or, I like to travel. What really sparked your interest in this very specific niche?
Right.
Was it a documentary you saw about mega projects?
Ooh, good one.
Did you see something about global trade routes that was fascinating to you?
Yeah, maybe you saw a massive mining truck in action and thought, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of that.
And I think don't be afraid to be specific, and show, a genuine enthusiasm.
For sure.
Right? And weave in your skills, too. So if you're like a problem solver by nature, talk about how you're drawn to the logistical challenges of moving oversized cargo.
Okay, so connect the dots for them a little bit.
Exactly.
Now, the next question is all about staying current.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date with changes in import-export regulations and policies?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a big one because this field is constantly evolving, so you want to be able to demonstrate that you are committed to continuous learning.
Yes, and it's a good opportunity to also think beyond. I read, industry news. What are you doing to proactively stay ahead of the curve? Are you following thought leaders on social media? Are there any specialized courses you've taken, like Incoterms or specific trade agreements? Are you part of a professional association?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Like International Compliance Professionals Association?
I bet a lot of people don't think to mention that.
Yeah.
It really shows that you're proactive and interested in this career path.
It shows you're invested. Yeah, absolutely. So now let's dive into a scenario.
Okay.
Can you describe a time you had to troubleshoot an issue with an import-export shipment? So this is story time.
Okay, love it.
And so choose a situation where you really faced a challenge.
Right.
Was there a delayed shipment? Was there a documentation error? Or think about what was something that was difficult.
Give me an example.
Sure. So let's say there was a shipment of construction equipment
Okay.
that got held up in customs
Oh, no.
because some paperwork was missing.
I see.
Right? So you could talk about how you very calmly assessed the situation, got in touch with all the relevant parties, expedited those missing documents, and ultimately got that shipment released on time.
That's a good example. It really shows that you can handle pressure. You can problem solve effectively.
Yes, and I think in sharing that story, don't just focus on the actions, but highlight those skills that you used.
Okay.
Like your communication, your negotiation, your attention to detail.
Yeah, that's a good point. So now imagine you're juggling multiple shipments.
Okay.
How do you prioritize multiple shipments and ensure they are delivered on time? You're like an air traffic controller for giant machines.
That's a great way to put it. I love that analogy.
Right. You need a system.
You need a system, for sure. So how do you assess the urgency of each shipment?
Yeah.
How do you allocate your time efficiently?
Right.
Maybe you have a color-coded spreadsheet or a system for flagging high-priority shipments. So be specific and share those strategies.
Right. So really let your organizational skills shine here.
Yes.
And don't forget to mention how you track your deadlines, how you communicate with all the parties involved to make sure everyone's on the same page.
It's all about keeping everybody in the loop, for sure. Now let's get into like the nitty-gritty of compliance.
Okay.
So how do you ensure that shipments are compliant with international regulations?
So this is where you really showcase your expertise.
Yes. And, it's more than just saying, I follow the rules, right?
Right.
You really need to demonstrate that, these specific regulations and procedures.
Give me an example.
So, for example, you could talk about your experience with Incoterms.
Oh, yeah.
Which are those international commercial terms that define responsibilities in international trade. Or you could discuss your very meticulous process for verifying documents.
Okay.
Like certificates of origin or bills of lading.
So you're showing your attention to detail.
Exactly.
Your commitment to compliance.
Exactly.
Now remember that RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your answers to specific job descriptions.
Yes, it's like having a personalized cheat sheet for each interview.
Right.
So for instance, if a job description really emphasizes experience with hazardous materials, you can use the AI to analyze those requirements and then highlight any relevant experience you have in that area.
I see.
So you're really focusing your answers and making sure you're speaking to the specific needs of that role.
That makes a lot of sense. So you can kind of tailor each answer to that specific job.
Exactly.
Now let's tackle another scenario. How would you handle the situation where a shipment is lost or damaged in transit?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
This is the import-export equivalent of like a nightmare.
It is. It's like the worst case scenario.
So how do you approach this in an interview?
So first of all, stay calm.
Okay.
Explain your process for investigating the issue.
Mm-hmm.
How would you contact the carrier,
Mm-hmm.
the insurance provider? How would you keep the client informed?
Right.
And really show that you are proactive and solution-oriented.
Yeah. And don't forget the human element here.
Oh, that's so important.
Empathy and clear communication are so crucial when you're dealing with a stressed-out client.
For sure. I think, if you've actually had a similar experience, share a specific example. It shows that you've been there, done, that you can handle the pressure.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about relationship building.
Okay.
How do you maintain positive relationships with clients and vendors?
This is a good one.
So this is all about your interpersonal skills.
Yeah, you're constantly interacting with people from different cultures and different backgrounds.
Of course.
So think about, how you build rapport, how do you communicate effectively, how do you resolve conflicts?
So it's really about being a good listener, respecting different perspectives, building trust.
Exactly. And, share examples of how you've successfully navigated cultural differences or resolved disagreements.
Yeah.
Maybe you learned a few key phrases in a client's language.
Ooh, that's good.
Or went above and beyond to accommodate a vendor's needs.
Those little details make a big difference.
They do.
Now, before we move on to the next set of questions,
Okay.
let's talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can help you refine your answers even further.
So the AI can analyze your responses and give you personalized feedback,
I love that.
highlighting areas where you can improve your clarity, your conciseness, and the impact of your answer.
It's like having a virtual interview coach,
It is.
giving you real-time tips.
Real-time tips, exactly. And you can even record your practice responses
Wow.
and get feedback on your delivery, your pacing, your overall effectiveness.
So it's not just what you say, but how you say it?
It's everything.
Okay, are you ready to tackle some more challenging scenarios?
Oh, I'm ready. Bring it on.
We're going to talk about oversized equipment, tricky negotiations,
Okay.
even managing a team.
Let's do it. Okay, so let's dive into a question that really requires some specific industry knowledge.
Okay.
How do you manage the logistics of transporting oversized or heavy equipment?
All right, so we're not talking about packing boxes here.
No.
This is moving massive machinery across borders.
Exactly. Imagine coordinating the shipment of a giant excavator from Europe to a mine in South America.
Oh, wow, that's a logistical puzzle.
It is a puzzle. So think about all the steps involved. How would you go about identifying and evaluating all the transportation options?
Right, so do you go by sea, road, or even air freight?
And you'd have to think about the weight and dimensions of the equipment, the route feasibility, and of course, all those permits and regulations.
Of course, and what about like specialized carriers?
Yes, you might need a company that has the expertise to handle that kind of oversized cargo.
Right.
And secure the permits for each country that shipment's going to pass through.
So it's not just about getting it from point A to point B.
No.
It's about a safe and compliant journey the whole way.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about leadership.
Okay.
So how do you manage a team of import-export specialists?
So as you gain experience, you might find yourself in a leadership role. So you want to be able to showcase those skills.
For sure. And what kind of qualities are we talking about here?
Yeah, what are those key things?
Think about effective communication, clear delegation, the ability to really motivate and mentor your team.
Okay.
How would you create a collaborative and supportive work environment?
So it's not just about telling people what to do.
It's not.
It's about building a team.
It's about creating that positive team dynamic where everyone can really thrive and contribute their best work.
Right. And even if you haven't had like formal management experience, think about times where you've led a team project.
Absolutely.
Or taken initiative in a group setting.
Yeah, share those experiences and highlight those skills that you developed.
Good point. Okay, so let's dive into a question that focuses on efficiency.
Okay.
How do you ensure that import-export operations run smoothly and efficiently.
This is a great one.
So this is your chance to kind of think big picture
Yes.
and showcase your problem-solving skills.
So it's about analyzing those processes, identifying any bottlenecks, and finding ways to streamline those operations.
Yeah, so think about potential areas for improvement.
For sure. Could you leverage technology like automation tools or data analytics to enhance that efficiency?
Maybe implement standardized procedures to minimize errors and ensure consistency across all shipments.
Exactly. Highlight your analytical skills and your ability to implement practical solutions that are going to save time and reduce costs.
And don't forget that RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly valuable in preparing for these types of questions.
Oh, for sure. You can use the AI to analyze job descriptions and identify keywords that are related to efficiency and process improvement.
Right.
Then you can tailor your responses to highlight your experience in those specific areas.
So if a company emphasizes lean operations or Six Sigma methodology, you can showcase your knowledge and experience in those areas.
Absolutely. And you can also use the AI to get feedback on your responses, making sure that they're clear, concise, and impactful.
So it's like having that personalized coach helping you fine-tune everything.
It is. Okay, now let's move on to a question that tests your ability to think on your feet. Tell me about a time you had to adapt to a sudden change in import-export regulations.
Oh, because this field is constantly evolving.
Constantly evolving.
So you really have to demonstrate that flexibility.
So choose a specific example where you had to adjust your approach because of a new regulation, a new trade agreement, or some kind of unexpected disruption.
Okay, so like a new tariff was imposed.
Yes.
Or a trade agreement changed the rules of the game.
Exactly. Jam, handle that.
Yeah, explain how you assessed the situation.
Yes.
Gathered information, and adapted your strategy to ensure compliance.
So it's all about showing your adaptability and your ability to learn and adapt quickly in a dynamic environment.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about a question that assesses your cultural awareness.
Okay.
How do you handle communication with clients or vendors from different cultures?
Very important in the global world of import-export.
Absolutely essential.
Yeah.
So think about specific examples where you've interacted with people from diverse backgrounds.
Okay.
How do you ensure clear communication?
And build rapport despite those cultural differences.
Right. So maybe you've learned a few key phrases in a client's language.
Yes.
Or you've adapted your communication style to be more sensitive to those cultural nuances.
It's all about demonstrating your respect for other cultures and your ability to bridge those cultural gaps effectively.
Now let's wrap up this section with a question that focuses on your long-term vision.
Oh, okay.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years within the import-export industry?
So this is your chance to show your ambition, your career goals.
What are your aspirations?
Exactly. Do you see yourself specializing in a particular type of equipment or industry?
You're right.
Are you interested in pursuing leadership roles?
Maybe you want to start your own import-export business.
Yeah.
Or become an expert in a very specific area of international trade.
You know, be specific. Articulate your goals and make sure that they align with the opportunities available within that company that you're interviewing with.
Right. Make sure it's a good fit for both of you.
Exactly. Now, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, let's remind ourselves about the value of RoleCatcher's AI.
Yes.
It can be an invaluable tool throughout your interview preparation.
Absolutely.
From analyzing those job descriptions to providing feedback on your responses, it can really help you present your best self and increase your chances of landing that dream job.
Like having that secret weapon in your back pocket.
It is. Now, in the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore some additional insights from RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
Okay.
And we'll discuss some personal qualities that can help you thrive in this exciting field.
All right, so let's shift gears a little bit and tap into some of those golden nuggets from RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
Ooh, yeah.
Because it's packed with insights that go beyond just acing the interview.
Right.
We're talking about really building a successful career in this field.
It's like having a roadmap to navigate the whole world of import-export.
It's a good way to put it. And one of the key points that it emphasizes is continuous learning.
Oh, that's so important.
This industry is always evolving. So you got to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
What are some practical ways to do that?
So RoleCatcher recommends attending workshops and seminars.
Okay.
Maybe even pursuing specialized certifications in things like customs regulations or international trade finance.
Yeah, online courses are also a great option.
Oh, for sure.
And there are so many resources available.
Yeah, and I think this is where RoleCatcher's AI can also come in handy.
Oh, yeah. How so?
because it can actually help you identify those relevant courses and learning resources
Oh, wow.
based on your specific career goals and skill gaps.
So it's like having a personalized learning concierge.
It is. It really takes the guesswork out of professional development.
I love that.
Mm.
Now, another crucial aspect that the guide highlights is networking.
Oh, yeah, you got to network.
Building a strong professional network can open so many doors.
It's all about connections.
Right.
It's like having a team of advisors and mentors
Mm-hmm.
who can guide you along the way.
Absolutely. So what does RoleCatcher suggest for this?
So they recommend attending industry conferences and trade shows,
Okay.
joining professional associations.
We talked about the International Compliance Professionals Association earlier.
Exactly. But there are others specific to, whatever your niche is.
And don't forget about online networking platforms like LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah. LinkedIn is great.
It's a great way to connect with professionals in the field, share insights, and even find mentors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about some of those personal qualities that can really make you stand out in this field.
Yeah. What are those key things that employers are looking for?
So RoleCatcher really emphasizes adaptability as a key trait
Okay.
because the import-export world is full of surprises, right?
Oh, yeah. Things can change very quickly.
So you need to be able to roll with the punches and adjust your approach as needed.
So it's like being a master chess player, always thinking a few moves ahead,
I like that analogy.
anticipating those challenges.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
then there's cultural awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be interacting with people from all over the world.
Right. So sensitivity to cultural differences
Yeah.
and an appreciation for diverse perspectives are essential.
So it's not just about knowing the rules and regulations.
It's
It's about understanding the nuances of different cultures and building those strong relationships across borders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And finally, a passion for problem solving.
Okay.
You've got to have that.
Makes sense.
You will encounter challenges on a daily basis.
For sure.
So having that positive attitude
Right.
and that proactive approach to finding solutions is key.
It's about being resourceful, thinking outside the box.
Yes.
And never giving up until you find a solution that works.
Exactly. So there you have it.
We did it.
You're armed with all the expert insights, practice questions, and the power of RoleCatcher's AI.
It's a good toolkit to have.
It is so... Go into that interview with confidence
Yes.
and show them why you are the perfect fit for this exciting role.
You've got this.
You do. And remember, it's not just about reciting facts and figures.
It's about showcasing your passion, your adaptability, your cultural awareness, and those problem-solving skills.
Be authentic.
Yes.
Let your personality shine through
Let them see who you are.
and demonstrate why you are the import-export specialist that they have been searching for.
They're going to love you.
And don't forget to thank RoleCatcher
Yes.
for providing these incredible resources that help you prepare.
They're a game changer.
They really are. So listeners, if you're ready to take your job search to the next level, check out RoleCatcher.
You won't regret it.
You won't. And with that, we wrap up our deep dive into the world of import-export.
This has been fun.
It has. We hope you found it informative, insightful, and empowering.
We hope you learned a lot.
Yes, remember, you've got this. Go out there, ace that interview, and embark on an exciting career journey in the world of global trade.
That's right. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep